Genji 2 is an action game which is based on Japanese history. Being based on history, the stages of the game will also be based on famous battles which actually took place in ancient Japan. So here's this giant enemy crab.
God, I got nothing so far, man. I'm sorry.
You're not performing well today.
I'm not performing.
This is like 13 minutes of
I know.
intro.
I'm looking at it tick by, and I just don't have anything, man. I'm not on it today.
It'll be a lost episode of us bumbling like dumbasses.
Yeah, I'll just have to cut out the first 20 minutes. No intro.
It just randomly jumps around.
Raw.
That would be stupid. I can't do that.
You're totally gonna do that.
I would never do that. What I would do is introduce the very next episode of the Giant Enemy Crab podcast, episode 9. I remembered today. Shut up. I got it.
Almost said something.
Yeah, we didn't say shit.
I
We
know
didn't
you
say
did.
anything.
You almost paused long enough.
I can hear it with my psychic inclinations. I know how you are. Lionel, thank you for joining us today.
Hello.
Hello, he says. Can I get a hello from Tsungar as well?
Hello.
Oh, it's beautiful. And one last one from my boy Strider.
Hello.
Oh, I thought you were just going to leave me hanging. That would have been beautiful. Welcome, y'all. This is the gaming news podcast we got going on here. I'm happy to introduce all of us. I was looking today and no real good news this week.
Yeah, you're telling me. Holy shit.
Kind of just bad stuff across the board.
So many things are closing or ending. A bunch of my stuff
well-
that I've used for so long, or just was part of
Well,
me
tell
growing
me
up.
about that. What do you got?
So,
What's I mean, yeah, go for
so
it.
first big thing, Xbox Live 360 Marketplace is shutting down. It shut down on the 29th, I believe. And
And what does that mean?
that like 360s, all of the market stuff doesn't work. So you can't buy games on 360 anymore. All of that stuff is like their online marketplace is basically like you can.
Gone. Is it gone?
It's basically gone. It's no one can use it anymore. None of the 360 stuff can be bought
Okay.
again.
Kind of wild.
But all that shit is like old, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but it's also
who's even using an Xbox 360?
I think you'd be surprised probably because I remember when this happened for like the Wii U and everything, like there were whole initiatives started to try to like either save a lot of it or to like try to like play through as much of it as possible. So there's usually like a lot of like small communities in the larger scope, but still like there are quite a few people that still actually use those services.
I feel like that's a negligible amount to their.
It is.
Yeah, I was
for
gonna.
It
their
is
costs.
definitely,
That's-
but it's still people that use it for sure.
But it's also the big thing about like something like this closing is that like the stuff that's only on the 360 digital marketplace now basically becomes the potential for it to eventually become lost media if it's not like archived somewhere.
So somebody could, in theory, get an Xbox 360, download a shit ton of games on it that are going to disappear forever, and then sell that Xbox in a year or two for like a couple grand, right?
Potentially.
Like Flappy Bird.
Are you,
Flappy
cooking?
Bird.
Or like-
are you cooking up
like-
ideas? Or?
Yeah, like, well, because I remember that's what happened with PT with Sony. Like, now you can buy, I mean, you could probably just find PT to play somewhere, but you can still buy like a PlayStation with the PT demo on it for like double the price of a regular PlayStation.
More probably, I believe.
Yeah.
I think they hit 4 digits.
Pretty wild.
Oh, see?
Like
I've just come up with $1 million idea for anybody who's listening and has $100,000 to invest in Xboxes.
well, because the big thing is that like if they the big thing now is that like probably that will stop lost media is stuff like this will be ripped, like in the ISOs and type things will be saved so that and because there's 360 emulators, we'll probably be able to emulate them much easier eventually. Because I still think PS3 and Xbox emulation is in its infancy / it's still not quite there yet. But I think it's more playable than it was a few years ago. where it was really,
It's gotta
really, really rough. Where like if you didn't have like the world's strongest computer, you were never going to be able to even start whatever you were trying.
Yeah, because I use the PlayStation Online thing to stream like Ashura's Wrath and stuff, and that seemed to work fine.
How was that, by the way?
You know, Ashura's Wrath.
Not Usher's Wrath, the PlayStation
Streaming.
Online for PC stuff. Because I've never heard about anyone using it.
Well, now you have. Not half bad. I thought everything. I mean, you saw the streams. Everything ran okay. There was a big old library of stuff that I could not find anywhere else. I don't even. It did the actual app itself for the PS Online on like desktop was kind of clunky. It reminded me a lot of Steam Big Picture Mode, where it was doing a bunch of shit I didn't really want it to do. And it was kind of just how it was. But once you find what you're looking for, because there's a ton of like old PlayStation games that you've never heard of that get no play. There was one I wanted to play that was like a werewolf beat 'em up or something that looked pretty cool that I'd never heard of, and I didn't want to pay the fee anymore, so I canceled it. So I never played it. But I'd say if you want to play old PlayStation games, it actually works pretty well.
Was it like, is it a streaming thing? Like you stream the games, or did you download them then play them? Because I know that PlayStation had the PlayStation Now for PlayStation, which was like you could stream, like you would like you wouldn't download PS3 games, you would stream them, which wasn't the greatest when I tried it, because I tried to play a few games on it and it would stutter every few minutes. It didn't make for the greatest gameplay experience. So I was wondering if is it like a download
Fully online, yeah. I think it might have. I feel like it's kind of some strange mix of both. Like it buffers a lot of it. I don't know how it works. I know that the games played fine though. I can't remember if they were streamed. I feel like I'd click, because I feel like I'd click a game and I'd be able to play it like immediately. And I remember worrying about that because I also am like, while I'm downloading that to play, I'm also streaming it to Twitch, and then but my PC and the stream work fine. So I'd say go for it or try it. I think it's like $12-15 a month or something. See if it works.
Was there some deal for the first month?
Dude, this is like 2 years ago. I don't know. The deal is you get to play shit you can't find anywhere
Like
else.
Ashura's
That's
Wrath.
the deal.
Which I had.
Like Ashura's Wrath.
Great game.
Great soundtrack. Great fight on the moon. My favorite fight on the moon of all fights on the moon I've seen.
Spoilers. Calm down.
Okay.
Yeah, spoilers for Ashura's Wrath. Definitely.
I mean, to be fair, isn't that game like notorious for you can't really find video of it? Like, I
You
mean,
can
I
find
guess
video of it.
could,
There's no real way to play it though anymore. It was like this was one of the only ways.
Yeah.
Because it was
Well, if you want to play Ashura's Wrath, this is the way to do it.
I mean, now with the 360 market closing, you can't buy it there anymore. And good fucking luck finding a goddamn printed copy.
I mean, honestly, that's fine. I don't know anybody who uses an Xbox 360.
I have one in my closet. It's been there for a while.
Well,
Yeah, I don't really use mine anymore, so that doesn't really affect me at all.
I do own one, but again, it's in the closet.
Yeah.
Rip Xbox. In addition to the Xbox marketplace closing down, Game Informer announced that it's closing. We're getting no more Game Informer magazines. They announced their final issue
son,
after 33
our
years.
podcast is about to explode. We have no more competition. I'm ready.
Oh my god.
Game Informer was our only competition.
Yeah, we definitely were in the same sphere of influence as fucking Game Informer.
Hey, to me, yeah, we are. I feel like we're even more important because who's still kicking and getting stronger? Us. Who's closing off their magazine division at the very least? Them. Eat shit, Game Informer.
They have any other division?
I'm sure there's an online. I'm sure there's a website, and that's probably why they're
I
like. Are they
guess,
closing the
yeah.
entire thing, or
what I
are they just
understand it,
closing the magazine?
The magazine
division?
is like the big thing is closing, and they're not moving to a digital format.
That's pretty huge.
I could swear there was Game Informer online, but you know,
The
whatever.
magazine itself isn't going digital. I know that.
That's crazy. Like
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
When's the last time any of y'all bought physical game media?
I have like never bought a gaming magazine really. I've had them bought for me when I was a kid,
Same.
but I never actually gone and bought them. I've read them in like Barnes and Nobles and stuff like that, like when I've seen one. But I've never like actually purchased a subscription to it or anything similar. So
Yeah, well, that's just for the new generation. Like me, I had a subscription to Tips and Tricks magazine. That was my favorite. I didn't even have a PlayStation. I had a Game Boy, right? I wasn't allowed to have a video game console, so I got the magazine to look at all the cool shit I wanted, and I'd play at like my friend's house or something. But man, and then the other one, the PlayStation one, you would get a demo disc. And I remember there was
I used to
one
love
that
those.
everybody had. Yeah, there was one that had like Armored Core and like this weird diving game, and yeah, you just get your buddy and you just play that for hours, like the one map with the one mech and Armored Core.
Optimize it to perfection.
Infinite
Oh, yeah.
replayability.
Kind of, if you're bored enough, everything has infinite replayability.
yeah, I'm not surprised the Game Informer's kind of going down, just because like they have such there's such a smaller need for Game Informer and what they used to do now in general. Like all the things that they used to do is just covered by like the internet, and also just the dev interviews that happen online that get spread everywhere else anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what could Game Informer give me that Reddit can't? You know?
Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of how it is. Because with so many developers now, talking just directly either to the community or going to like so many interviews, and just everything they say gets posted everywhere. It brings so much less value to Game Informer. Like there's very little that they can actually provide, which is really sad, unfortunately. But yeah, it's just I'm not that surprised that they're kind of going under.
Because I think all magazines are on a decline, like just overall, like no
Oh, yeah.
matter what their content is.
Yeah.
It's just we've moved to such a digital and online market that physical magazines just don't have there's not as nearly as much of a demand for them as there used to
Well,
be.
it's also it's not just the magazines themselves, it's also the authors and writers are just like at such an all-time low for like how much we need them, because we have AI that writes articles and news articles now. Like that's just something that happens.
I remember when I was job searching, I was actually looking into writing for magazines, right?
Mhm.
Like puff pieces for like top 10 list type shit. And they wanted
Oh.
like 9 of those a day.
Oh,
Like
damn.
yeah. And it wasn't for great pay. And it was just something AI could do. You know,
Yeah.
like it seemed a little egregious. I don't think online journalism is as strong as it could be or once was, when everything's flooded with, I mean, half of what you're reading is, you know, artificially generated. You can
Yeah.
tell like how many times have you gotten through an article and halfway down you're like, oh, a robot wrote this.
Yep.
Or it's just completely wrong partway through. Like
Yep.
they'd even check their own generated article.
That's-
like
That's the shit that trips me out, is that it's always a mess, and it's like nobody looked at this. Y'all just slap. I see it all the time with YouTube shorts and stuff where they just throw on captions and they don't check it because it's been like these videos are just people typing into AI, make a video with this clip, you know, like that, and they just throw it up there and they spam it 100 times a day and make money off of that. But yeah, if like 2 words in the captions are super wrong, I'm like, man, this is such a lack of care about things when it comes to journalism for the most part, it seems.
are they manually generated captions or YouTube's auto-generated captions?
Oh god.
They are embedded into the video, so they are
itself.
ones that they
Okay.
put on them. Yeah, they were auto generated through whatever editing program they were using, and then put into the video with bigger text and whatnot. But they didn't even check, like they couldn't be fucking bothered, because it's more cost effective to just slam out another video than give a shit about the quality of one.
Much more
Mhm.
effective to put out like 5 out of 10 videos than one 9 out of 10 video in the same time frame.
Yep.
Yeah, for gaming like journalism now, the only real value is specific journalists with actual connections or insight into the industry. Like a big name is Jason Schreier. he just knows like so many people and has so many sources. Other than that, like it's pretty basic for most gaming news because it's just announced online and then it just gets regurgitated and spread after that. Like that's all the articles are now.
I would think another part. Do some places have like exclusivity where they're like, we got this first interview with the? I wouldn't even think that matters to people that much.
I'm sure it does in the sense of like personal connections, and also just like marketing contracts as well, for certain like companies. I can imagine that's definitely a thing where if you have a news outlet that's big enough, like Kotaku or The Verge, like those are actually big, um, like news publishers. They probably have a little bit more sway on like the interviews that they can get with certain developers. I'm sure
Yeah,
that's
they're gonna have like front row
Back.
seats at all the cons and stuff that people struggle to even get into.
right. And kind
Yeah.
of the trade-off with that too is because the companies that make the games, they want the interviewers to ask good questions so that they can portray their games in good light. Like you don't want someone coming in saying like, "Hey, I looked at your trailer and it looks like dog shit. Where's the gameplay at?" Like you don't want that happening. They're like, "Oh, yeah, my bad."
Mhm.
Oops.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of those. What are they called? Embargoes, where
Review embargoes.
a lot of the big names they can't. Yeah, they can't talk about a game like until it's actually out for the public.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which seems stupid. Like, why even give out review copies then if they can't? Whatever.
Yeah, didn't
I don't know.
was it Marvel Strikers or whatever
Rivals?
the new Rivals, Marvel Rivals. Yeah, they tried to do that when they passed out the game to a bunch of content creators, and there was in the terms and services, terms and
Oh,
conditions
yeah.
that you can't talk bad about the game. And everyone was like, "Hey, what is this? What are you talking about?" And they quickly backstepped and backpedaled on that because they caught some flack for doing that.
Oops, you guys are taking that out of context. It actually meant they had to come up with some real bullshit to try to cover what they
Yeah.
were saying.
Yeah,
That
that was
it's funny
terrible.
they came up. Speaking of Marvel Rivals, I guess there was a thing that happened where the game is on Xbox Series S right now, right?
Mhm.
And I guess it just randomly dropped down to 540p.
Yep,
Wait, what?
on the Series S, the
Yeah.
weaker console. Also, I hate the Xbox naming scheme. Because
Wait, they're like the resolution mid play will drop, or
I think that's just what it is. It's just set to
Yeah.
run at 540p, which is
The final
like,
retail version runs at 540p.
why
That is-
even sell it?
dude, that is doo doo.
the game apparently struggles to run on 4080s. 4080s are struggling to
no.
run on Rivals. The game is just an unoptimized piece of shit in that regards. Like it has
my
some
Dude.
God.
massive performance issues.
Here, I read an article today saying it was someone comparing it to like it's like they felt like they were playing Overwatch again. It felt like the good old days of Overwatch, is what they said.
Oh, so a positive thing. I've
Yeah.
heard nothing about this game.
Yeah, so like that.
I saw a
that's his
Donkey
thing,
video
right?
where he was kind of shitting on it, but that was it.
Yeah, like they were like, yeah, it's got some like the things here and there, but the most thing they had was they found like a lot of, well, obviously the game's inspired by Overwatch a lot. Yeah, like they were saying they mentioned they had like over 1,000 hours in Overwatch over their like gaming career or whatever, and that they really heavily felt like Overwatch comparisons in a good way, which made me kind of want to try it, but
I kind of want to try it too, just to try it.
Right?
Is that a free game or is it 60? or
it's
70?
closed right
Ugh.
now. You have to request access on PC.
I did. I never got it.
Yeah, I can't. You can't right now either.
I'm not cool enough. If only I worked for Game Informer magazine.
Like I would have loved to have tried it because now that like someone's compared to that, it was like I liked the whenever Overwatch was first starting out. That was when it was the funnest to me.
I'll play any clean MOBA, or not MOBA. What hero shooter? Oh, I guess any clean MOBA too.
Play
I
MOBAs
hate-
too. Yeah, MOBAs are.
Yeah,
Good
but
MOBAs are good
if there's a hero shooter I can just jump into that works properly, I'll check that shit out. Why not?
Paladins.
Not paladins. I'm done with paladins.
Maybe one of these days we'll get Gundam Evolution back. Community service or something.
Oh.
Yeah,
Or do you mean like they'll try again?
either or. either community servers or a revival.
I don't do. I'd like a licensed version of people who actually give a shit. Like that'd be cool instead of somebody just trying to sell me skins, which you want because they look cool. But still, like
That's what the original game was. What are you talking about?
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the devs cared, but
Well,
no,
the game,
they did not. No, it had so many problems, and they didn't do a thing about any of them.
They didn't
just
address
said,
most of the
"Whatever."
big issues that people had since launch. The most that they addressed it was like bonuses that we got when it was closing.
Like, is that kind of feels like the thing with a lot of the more awful Gundam games is like they put them out there and people buy the skins and all the things they want, and then they're just done with it. Like that, like it was the plan all along.
There's very little post-launch support. I've heard that, like, from just the things I've read about, like the online Gundam stuff, about all those multiplayer games, because Gundam actually has quite a few. I couldn't tell you the names of any of them. They all blend together.
what about Battle Operation? Is that still going?
Yeah, wasn't the greatest thing in the world.
Okay. No, that was trash.
Dude, it's janky. I still had fun. It was janky, but I still had fun.
Well, I mean, the problem was you crashed twice and you were banned for like your entire life. Like, holy
I wasn't
shit.
banned.
You only crashed once. If you crashed again, you would have been banned. And like, there was nothing you could do to change it.
That's why I didn't crash a second time.
Incredible.
You lost some play. How much of that did you play?
I don't know. I usually play whenever you guys would.
I ended up playing a lot of that by myself.
Yeah,
was-
I wasn't.
I mean,
I felt bad.
I
was like, I wanna
gotta
join
work,
you, but that
man.
game
I
is
gotta make
trash.
money. I can't be on it all the time.
Dude, that was such a jank, like a PS2. What the fuck are these Armored Core ass controls? Like the
I love Armored Core.
the high skill gameplay that came from Battle Operations was just, how can I use these jank controls to cheese my way into victory? Because a lot of it was just like stun looping, cycling through weapons. It was so rough.
Yeah.
But the thing with Gundam games, I feel, is it's very similar to Warhammer, where there's just a lot of mediocre games, and people celebrate the good releases.
Yeah.
Like, it feels,
I
feels very similar, just from my interpretation of reading into Gundam games.
I find it really hard to believe that it's so hard to make a game about giant robots fighting that's fun. Like, it feels so deliberate to me. It's like, especially Gundam Evolution, like it was all sheen, and then they just left it. They said, and the only thing they ever changed was what you could buy in the store. It felt really weird to just like
We don't. I'll,
give up on that.
I'll say in like if we're talking about the realms of just like big mecha like games or like games of where you're piloting big mecha kind of deal. There are some good ones that aren't Gundam ones, but or at least they incorporate Gundam in some way. Like Super Robot Wars is a really popular series, and it's pretty damn good.
Well, I mean, the big thing with mecha, is even like the most popular ones are still small niche game. Like, it's not the most popular genre in the world. And
Big robots are cool.
they're cool, but they don't sell too many copies. Is the big problem.
Well, if you remember when it came out, a big problem with the game was they were clearly trying to like maximize on the microtransactions, because this was a big problem. Like when the game came out, like they released with $40 skins that you had to buy 2 of them at the same time for, and stuff like that. And also, they did not have a worldwide release. They only released in specific countries because the countries they did not release in had laws preventing them from selling some of the microtransactions they were selling. So, you know, that doesn't help with the life of the game either.
It also released on console like a sizable time frame later, didn't it? It was PC first.
Yep.
Like, because that
it did.
And then they had to launch the other country's servers like 3 months after or something like that. It was another sizable time difference before they launched it.
It was handled very, very poorly. All the skins and everything were extremely expensive. They had like a battle pass system. I never got it because like I never got anywhere close to finishing it, like at all. And I put a lot of time into the game. I thought.
I don't think I bought
Um,
that one either.
I think I had like 40, 50 hours maybe in it, somewhere around there. Um, and I didn't get close. So it was like a good game under the hood. Like there were a lot of good things about it. And it was a Gundam game too, which is just bonus points. But there were so many things holding it back from um a like business standpoint, and also they couldn't really fix a lot of the problems that people were asking for in a good way either.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying, though. That's what cracks me up is like when I did the whole review on it and all the problems I said, and it's weird because like I'm nobody. I don't know shit about video games more than like I would think somebody who develops them does. And I named every problem and I said, this game is going to fucking die if you don't fix these things. And lo and behold, less than a year later, server shut down. Like, it just feels weird to have such recognizable issues that they refuse to fix and just push forward with monetization. It was crazy to me.
Yeah, I'm sure what they're gonna do is they're just gonna recycle all the assets they made for the game and come out with something else in like the next 2-3 years. That's probably what's gonna happen. There'll be another Gundam game that uses it. They're already releasing like 2 more.
I could have swore I keep seeing Reddit stuff pop up of people trying to like bring the game back on private servers and stuff.
I could see that. I think that usually the issue with that is like it gets taken down a lot. It
Ooh.
can be very difficult.
The other thing is getting a player base.
Yeah,
That's true.
for a matchmaking game.
Getting community on matchmaking games where like the average guy checking it out is about to get his shit rocked by someone who hasn't played anything other than this community run server game for 3 years.
Cool. Titanfall.
Titanfall. North Star Titanfall is probably one of the places where I have been smoked the hardest in gaming. My entire gaming time. I got ripped up and folded over the like 4 or 5 matches I played in that. Because all it was people who've put thousands and thousands of hours, and I just was like, I want to play some Titanfall. And then I just got beat into the dirt.
I just used the smart pistol.
That's
That's all I
That's
did.
what I did. I was like, look at all these kills I'm getting.
Yeah, it's so
I don't
easy.
even remember what I used to use in that game.
I wouldn't even use the Titan because I was like, I don't need it. I just got the smart pistol and I just shoot people.
That's what I use the Ronin that you self-detonated. That was my
Yeah.
thing. You just blow your own Titan up, get the smart pistol
I
again.
fucking scrub a goddamn.
That's amazing.
Phase dash, nuclear ejection, smart pistol. Let's go.
Yep, it works.
That's why they changed it in 2 so that the Titan, the smart pistol was once a Titan boost.
That's why I don't play Titanfall 2. I was like, okay, I'm done. I did
My
play
crutch.
the story though, and it was pretty fun. Yeah, pretty
In
much.
my smart pistol Mino want game.
No, it's a fun game, but I'm not devoting that much time to people that already devote way more than I do.
We went back and played it when it got like some sort of re-release on
They
Steam.
fixed
I don't know
the
why. It was like
Resurgence.
$5
They
or
had fixed the
something.
servers was the big thing. They're like DDoS servers. Their actual matchmaking started working again, so you didn't need a community-run thing to actually play the video game.
Yeah, so we played some regular ass rounds and I enjoyed it for a couple days.
Still a great time.
Yeah, it really was. Like if there was a newer version of it, if there was a Titanfall 3, I'd play the shit out of that.
We gotta have faith, right? They'll do
Yeah.
it. They'll do it. They'll give me my time.
Faith in the video game industry? No.
That's a shit show.
No. This month, it'll be shown off at Gamescom. I promise, right?
Wow. No, yeah, you got the insider tips.
Where's our damn Bloodborne?
Right? Win Bloodborne.
Bloodborne now.
Y'all got anything else?
One more big closing thing, probably the smallest one on the list, is that romhacking.net is closing and moving to just archival purposes. After
Ooh, that's something I don't know anything about. Tell me about it.
basically, romhacking.net was just like a database type wiki basically for just all about ROM hacking. for the video games, from everything from NES games to, you know, popular Super Mario 64 or Ocarina of Time, and the Pokemon games, like the big games that get hundreds and thousands of ROM hacks that people have made. But ROM hacking,
So that's just done.
yeah, they've said that they're closing, and that they're basically giving everything, all of their data to Internet Archive. I think was a big thing, and they're just like they'll keep up what they have for archiving, but no new entries are being created, from what I understand. But it was just like,
I mean, I think that'd be fine, right? Because like newer games don't really work that well, right, on emulators.
I mean,
Well, these are for like older
Yep.
games, I imagine.
That's what I'm saying. So how many more ROMs do they need to make?
well, I mean, Super Mario 64, those type of even N64 games are still getting a bunch of new ROM hacks. Like even
Those are
nowadays,
made
Okay.
like constantly.
like there is
Yeah,
a
people are
lot of
always making them.
fan created content for these.
Mhm. The thing with
I
those
don't
is
know anything.
they're so popular that I'm sure someone's just gonna pick up the mantle and continue it anyways. This just sounds like one of those things where whoever's running it just doesn't want to do it anymore. And they just struggle to hand it off to someone. So
Yeah.
yeah, someone's just gonna pick up and make a new website to basically continue it because it's too popular of a thing
Yeah.
for it to just disappear, you know?
But it's just
So there'll be another website that'll do the same thing.
it's just
no time.
the big name of like ROM hacks it's just closing. Because
Yeah.
romhacking.net was just the place to get information about ROM hacks. Like if you wanted to look something up about it, there was usually an entry somewhere in romhacking.net about it, which would help you with either getting it set up or so forth, or just finding more information or patches, their fixes, or it's just other stuff.
Other than that, we've had like what a bunch of layoffs happening again.
Yeah, good old Bungie.
Yeah, Bungie's laid off even more people, and they didn't lay a bunch of people off, but a bunch of people left the studio to be integrated into different Sony studios, and now they're laying off even more people. So they literally lost like almost a third of their staff, pretty much.
I think
uh,
I think
I think-
34% was what I read. They lost like 34% of the workforce between
that's a big
layoff
number.
and moving to other studios.
That's so like what part of like because Bungie what games they do Destiny, right?
Yeah, Destiny.
Do they still? I don't know. Destiny. Like what part of a live service game do you not need? Like is it you think it's like content creation or upkeep or like who are you firing?
Yeah, they're probably firing all the people that they had used to create their latest expansion, and then also anyone to deal with like a lot of the support tickets and all that happened on an initial release. All that stuff, I imagine, is who is now being let go, and quality assurance specifically is probably a lot of who was let go. That tends to be why you see all these mass firings.
I remember reading that the remaining staff are all focused on Destiny and Marathon.
What is
Well-
Marathon?
Their extraction shooter that I forgot existed.
It's because Marathon
yeah.
was the FPS series by Bungie before Halo. Like it is one of their old classics, and I believe they're doing a remaster or remake of it, which I believe, like Soon said, is a extraction shooter, I think, or something
Yeah,
along the
that's
lines
what
of
it
it.
says.
But it was like Marathon 1 and 2, I think, were some of the earliest FPSs, I want to say, in the genre. If I'm trying to think of, because I can't even remember what they were on, but
I couldn't tell you.
they're like
That's
one of
beyond
Bungie's
me.
first games.
Macintosh,
Goldeneye is
Pippin,
all I know.
Macintosh
Yeah.
and Pippin.
The fuck
So-
is Pippin?
I don't know.
But
Defunct
it's on
open
it.
multimedia. Wait, okay. Pippin defunct. It's now defunct, obviously. Open multimedia technology platform designed by Apple Computer.
Oh boy.
Never heard of it until today.
All right.
Yeah, but beyond all the sad news about all the people getting fired, we did have the Emmy Awards yesterday, which was pretty
What
cool.
is that?
What is that?
The Emmy Awards it's a community-driven award show for tabletop games, and that just happened
Oh,
yesterday. Yeah,
I
and
didn't know there was awards for tabletop.
yeah, it's been going on for like a little over 20 years now,
Oh shit.
and the winner for gold place for product of the year was Shadow Dark RPG by Arcane Library,
That's familiar.
which yeah, this is something that I actually played. I purchased a digital copy of it, and I purchased the first two. I think yeah, first two expansions for it too. It's a it's marketed as like a uh classic tabletop game, more modernized as compared to like Dungeons and Dragons and um Pathfinder, where it's very rules light, but the rules that are in there are very like intense, and it's very dark and kind of grimy feel to it. It's actually a very fun game. It's very quick and fast paced, but it won best rules, best game, and also best layout and design on top of best product of the year. So
Ooh.
that's
Hmm.
pretty exciting. It's done a lot of crazy stuff. And the person who made it, Kelsey Dione, I believe is how you pronounce her name. She released it like I think just last year is when it came out. It's like it's pretty much brand new. So it's kind of crazy for this to. It was beaten out like Pathfinder, which is
That's
bonkers to
pretty
me.
big.
Yeah, that is pretty intense for something that's new to kind of beat out that. But when you compare it to like some of the rule books in Pathfinder and Dungeons and Dragons, uh, Shadow Dark is just so easy to learn, and you can do so much with it at the same time that you can get so many players on board with it. It's pretty fun. It's a fun little tabletop game.
I was kind of curious because I've heard, I've only played so much D&D. Um, how do these games stack up comparatively, like Pathfinder? And because I've heard the name Pathfinder and I've heard the name Shadow Dark, even though I don't run in these circles whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm in the same
Um,
boat. I don't exactly know the full on differences.
like to me, tabletop games are there's D&D, which everybody can play with a little bit of a pre-runner, and then there's like all these other games with an insane amount of rules. I remember Jacob was reading the rules for some game for like 3 days before he could even play it, and I was like, nah, keep that far away. How do these games stack up to like D&D itself? Like, are they shorter or do they need more people? Like, I don't know anything about them.
So it's kind of the first comparison that's kind of easy to make is generally the complexity of the rule sets, where
Mm-hmm.
Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition is very easy to get into. The rules
Okay.
are comparatively
Okay.
simpler to even older editions like 3.5. Or 3.5, like you can go super in depth with the combat to where you're targeting like limbs and like all this other crazy stuff. 5th edition
Ooh.
specifically is designed to be like you can just kind of pick this up and just play it. Very simple to do. And it works like pretty well because it's designed to be kind of open where you can add stuff in and not have to worry about changing combat too much. Where Dungeons and Dragons struggles is the way it's designed, changing combat and stuff like that, like homebrew style, is really dangerous because you can really break things like really
Mm-hmm.
bad.
I've
And that's
noticed.
yeah, that's generally when you want to go on to like more complex systems like Pathfinder is one of them, where they have so many items and like different stuff you can do that I think their Starfinder's rulebook is like 500 plus pages long.
Holy crap.
Um, yeah, it gets intense. And there's like a system for basically any scenario you can think of in tabletop. There's specific ones for like zombie apocalypses. There's even some systems that are designed to be completely universal, where you can run pretty much anything on it because it's just that like dynamic and you can just apply whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
What makes Shadow Dark kind of unique and what it does is it uses the same dice as Dungeons and Dragons, but there's specific elements that it uses in real time to force the players and like how the gameplay actually functions to move smoothly. Um, like the first thing is there's always a churn. Everyone has a churn all the time, even when you're not in combat. So you have to constantly like, okay, what do you want to do? All right, you're done. What do you want to do? So it keeps the game moving, right? And the reason it's called Shadow Dark is because darkness in the game is basically a death sentence. Like if you run into the dark in the game, you're pretty much going to die. Bad things will happen to you. So to avoid the dark, you have to light a torch, and the torch lasts for 1 real-time hour. So you have to move quick because it is not in-game hour, it is 1 real hour.
I might want to play this because this was a big issue I'm realizing I had with D&D, whereas like the structure just isn't. It's fun for kicking it and doing whatever, but like as a game, the structure is really hard. Like some turns of some people would last an hour.
Yeah.
And like nothing would happen that concerned me whatsoever. And I'm like, am I still even playing a game? And that's been not just this is like a campaign I did in the past that was the same way. That's just how the game is for me, and I get bored really easily. So maybe that'd be cool to try.
Yes, it sounds pretty interesting. Actually, I'm pretty intrigued too.
How I view it is it feels very dungeon crawl heavy, where kind of the basic gameplay loop is you go into a dungeon, you kind of do your thing, and you go in, you get your treasure, and you come out. And the other unique mechanic is they have a way for you to spend your gold to equal XP. There's a specific mechanic, which I can't unfortunately remember the name of it, but essentially when you're in town, you spend your gold to roll on a table, and whatever you roll determines how much XP you get and also what extra effects happen to kind of help you in either your next adventure or to even start your next adventure too, your next kind of dungeon thing that you're doing. It's pretty good.
You're selling me on this. I kind of want to get something together and like have us all play one if that's a thing.
Oh yeah, I own it. So yeah, if you wanted to play it, I'd be down.
Yeah, I'm not even bullshitting for the podcast. That actually sounds like an actual timed version of a game where I could be there. I'm going to be there 2 hours. I'm not going to be there maybe 3, maybe 6. Who knows if we'll get anything accomplished. It'll be all right though.
Yeah,
I can't do that.
There's a reason it won the awards for like best design, best rules. Like they are very simple but well thought out, and like these work. Like these rules actually do work. And also the art style for the game, it used this black and white kind of like classic RPG style.
I was looking at those. They look really cool.
Yeah, it looks fucking great. The character sheets are very simplified, where like you know exactly what you're looking at. It's not like some crazy complex thing where like, oh, you have all these skills and here's your initiative bonus and here's your proficiency. It's nothing like that. And it's also a very it's hard. It's a hard game. You cannot expect to be very strong in this because, as an example, when I played as a wizard. There was a very real chance when you cast like even a basic spell that you will just accidentally explode.
Yeah, wild magic, let's go.
Yeah, you will just accidentally like cause something terribly to go wrong. And also there's no like spell slots or anything. Pretty much if you just roll badly, you just can't cast that spell anymore for the rest of the day. That's just how it works. It's very simple. And I actually
critical
really
fails.
Like it. Yeah. Yep.
I like those. Those are fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I remember when I was playing, we ran into a giant octopus, and I was trying to run away from it. And I thought like, oh, there's no like opportunity attacks in the game where like it's my turn. If I run away, nothing will happen. And I was thinking in like Dungeons and Dragons rules, and I tried to run away from it. And it immediately grabbed me and dragged me underwater, and I died. So it's a very fun game. I actually enjoyed it quite a lot. And it definitely deserved the Any award. I'm glad that it won it.
Oh, that's cool. I can see like, especially if you took a game and you're like, it's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons but faster, and get this. You get to keep and use all your dice that you've collected, because I know that's what y'all motherfuckers do.
It totally is. Yeah,
I've even wanted some of them dice, and I don't play the shit.
Dude, some of them look really goddamn cool. Like
they're made out of real bones and diamonds and obsidian and You know, they got your favorite Dragon Ball Z
Real
characters
human
on them.
teeth.
Yeah, they're made of teeth. I don't know about that one. Probably. You could probably find ones made out of teeth.
Probably. I know the bones one was actually a real thing, which was kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't believe that. But yeah, and it's funny when you compare this because we have the new Dungeons and Dragons edition, which I think they're just calling it Dungeons and Dragons 2024, which is weird. I think people are
No,
just calling
they
it
should do that.
5.5.
They should just, if they're going to do stuff like that, just year
Simplify.
it. Stop doing other things.
Did they drop the one D&D?
They did.
Okay.
Yeah, they dropped one D&D. It's just strange because the naming scheme has been the same for so long, and it's just a very random way to change it when, from the looks of it, the game's not changing that much. But some of the changes they've done have definitely been questionable. They have the new Ranger class is officially kind of out for us to look at, and people are kind of like making fun of it because it's just straight garbage.
Oh, no.
It is.
As is tradition with the Ranger.
They can't figure out what to do with that class, and it's hilarious. Like seeing them. If you look at the notes, right? Because they have the notes, they have like an explanation of what the abilities do, and for the Ranger, there's pretty much like entire paragraphs explaining why it's worse now, and trying to hype you up for just having like proficiency in perception instead of like all the things that you used to be able to do. It's kind of hilarious. But it's definitely a fat L considering that Shadow Dark is kind of gaining a lot of traction now.
Sounds like it should. It sounds pretty cool.
It does, yeah. But yeah, so hopefully I'm still looking to get the new Dungeons and Dragons books though. I'm probably still gonna get that. I play the game too much to not get them at this point. But if you guys want to play Shadow Dark, or if you guys want to check it out, whoever's listening, you know, definitely do it. It's definitely worth the price. I think they have like some free stuff that you could do to kind of try it out. I could be wrong about that because I tried this out like back when it first kind of came out. So you definitely have to check the website out for sure though.
At least, even if you don't like Dungeons and Dragons, the monster manuals are always fun.
Yeah, there was pretty neat.
Yeah.
I think even I had a monster manual. I didn't own any other, no other tabletop stuff, just the monster manual.
Dude, you got cool designs and everything else. Like,
Yeah, I think this new monster manual for Dungeons and Dragons, they're going to do art for every single monster, which
Oh, nice.
is pretty hype. I think that's why it's coming out like sometime next year because they got to finish everything. But yeah, they definitely have not done that for 2014's edition. So
yeah,
that's gonna be hype.
how mad would you be if some of the new stuff is like really janky AI art?
They've already done that.
No!
So that has already happened a few times with
no.
Wizards of the Coast. So yeah, it's definitely gonna happen. I'm sure they can't kind of prevent it.
Got banned.
The second thing is
fingers.
too, like, well, what it sounds like is the company, you know, they're just hiring artists to do it, and they don't realize that those artists are using AI. Like, they don't even know that it's happening. So it's not even their fault, because some of the artists that have done it, Wizards of the Coast have hired in the past before to do art for them. You know, so it's kind of shitty because
That's
you know, I can't be mad at the company. It's literally the artist's fault for doing it. It's a feels bad kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that's all I know about board games.
That's true.
You'll have to keep us updated. Maybe we can do like Kyler's board game
hour.
We'll
Well,
have
not
a little
hour,
theme
but
song and everything.
board
Talk
game
about
segment.
tabletop stuff. Yeah, that'll be fun. We'll try to do that.
Anyone else got anything special they have? I think it's soon. That's it. Everybody else did something.
Special? I don't know. Were we gonna talk about stuff we've been playing? We never really brought that up.
We could. What you been playing soon?
I was playing checking out Kinitsugami, that the new game from Capcom that dropped recently. Kind of like Shadow dropped. And what a lot of people are saying is pretty true. It's like you remember when Capcom used to drop like crazy PS1, PS2 games out of like nowhere. They were always like kind of at a left field, but they were great. This is like from that era.
Like, sort of like Beautiful Joe.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. Like it's in that kind of vein of like it basically is like a tower defense action RPG. basically. But like it's pretty cool so far.
What's like kind of unique about it? What does it do? Because I've played a lot of like tower defense games, and I've kind of grown bored of most of them.
I'm trying to think like how to even describe because like I mean the concept is pretty simple. Your tower is well the one thing you're really just defending is the one of the main characters named Yoshiro, the maiden trying to purify the corruption of the mountain you're on, the corruption called the
Mhm.
Seethe. And so like she's like your main base you're protecting as you guide her through the stages. And your towers are villagers you rescue and then assign roles. So you can
Oh,
tell them to move around and you're not just like a commander, you can actually fight yourself too. So like a lot of it's, guiding Yoshiro along the path, like carving the spirit path as they call it, and like positioning her right, and having your villagers kind of around to like I want my archers here, I want my woodcutters, which are your first frontline unit, here to kind of hold off Seethe. And meanwhile,
that's
you're going
cool.
in, and then there's like base building aspects after you've rescued certain places once you've cleansed the Seethe in that area. So
That reminds me of Cataclysmo, which I've played a little bit of so far.
yes, I have it, and I haven't gotten around to playing it, but
Yeah, that one's a good one too. It's definitely more base building heavy.
no, yeah, no,
Um,
that because yeah, you're working kind of like with tools you're given in the stages. At least the ones I played so far in Kunitsugami. Um, I remember watching you play Cataclysmo though. You were getting stressed out.
yeah, because the thing is, it doesn't tell you where the enemy is coming from until like the night before they're about to attack. So you don't get much time. So there have been a few times now where I've just completely built my defenses in the exact opposite direction. And I just
Mm.
start panicking immediately. And I was like, oh no, I spent all my monies over there when it should have been over there. Oh, that's a fun game though. I'll have to check that other one out though. It's been a while since I played a Capcom game
Yeah,
because
no,
like the only Capcom game I play regularly now is like Monster Hunter.
I
Um,
want it.
I know, me
Just
too.
yes, we
want
all
Monster
want
Hunter.
Monster Hunter, man. We all want it.
It's so good.
One day.
I haven't
Yeah, it's
played it yet, but I do want to get back into Guilty Gear Strive. I've just been procrastinating.
I know I keep asking you like every day.
You ask me, and I'm sorry. Like
Your
I'm not in the
profile
mood.
picture is a Guilty Gear character.
Yeah, dude, I love my boy Gold Lewis. I am so tired after work. I just do not feel like fighting games. I'm sorry.
I think I've fought you like 2 times in all
I
the
do.
time since Guilty Gear Strive has been out.
I really do want to get back into it. I'm just trying to find the motivation, I guess is the thing.
And not
Well,
two
here's your-
sessions of us fighting. Like literally, we had 2 matches.
I'm sorry.
Look, if you want motivation, it's that 3v3 is here, kind of.
Oh god.
And you should get good enough to play a little bit so you can keep up with everybody when you're ready to 3v3. And we'll all be on the same team. And we'll throw. What are you doing that? That shit is so jank.
3v3?
You throw
yeah,
afros.
okay. They're like giving you motivation. No, wait, hold on. This shit's jank. It's like, goddamn it.
Look,
Dude, it's more a
to
Mario
be real,
Party game.
we played it. Yeah, we played it, and we kind of were like, do we turn it off now or do we keep going? Let's keep going, and we just kind of kept having more and more fun with it.
Oh.
I don't think it'd last forever, but we had fun.
Just remember
It's
another
a
big
weird-
thing we've been playing. Sorry, Lionel, go.
It's a weird thing because it's fun. Like it's a fun game mode, but it's not what I wanted out of a 3v3 Guilty
No.
Gear. That's what's up with
Want
it.
something
It's
more
just-
like Fighter Z's kind of style, maybe?
Yeah,
or,
I just
yeah.
want a tag
Like a
system
tag in,
where I can
yeah.
play with my friends. Like, why? What is with all this? Let me throw afros and cast healing spells and like, what is all that? Stop.
Well, there definitely needs to be a mode without skills, just your assists and HP. Like,
Yeah, because
No,
right now
it's-
there's no real reason to tag in or tag out. Like, if you all had your own HP bar or something, that would make sense. But I'm hoping that because this is just a beta, it's going to be an entirely different thing when they really release it. Because this is just a party game right now and nothing more.
I don't even know if it's that. Like,
I was
Yeah,
gonna
because like at the same time, it doesn't function well. Like there was one point where we hit over a second of delay. Like a full second of delay.
We had some of the worst matches I've seen. I've seen some 3v3 gameplay that definitely was more like your traditional Guilty Gear match. I don't know what the fuck was going on when that night we tried it. But we never got below 300 milliseconds. And I think we saw 6 frames of rollback once. It was always higher.
Well, to be
Yeah, I
fair,
watched a
I
few-
think
yeah.
it just came out.
It did, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
no,
No,
but
the
there's
same- the
videos, where people are playing
this-
it that have, like, I watched them that night, and they have good
Oh.
latency. It was just us.
Yeah, it was us specifically. One
Oh.
of the 3 of us was fucked that night. Like, we were fucking...
because we're all from different places.
I was gonna say that there's another thing that we have been playing quite a bit of. Unfortunately, Lionel, you weren't playing with us, but Earth Defense Force 6.
Oh, yeah, we've been playing a lot of that.
Yeah.
I don't know about a lot, but some every day.
Enough. I mean, it's fun.
I would
fucking
say a
love
lot.
EDF.
Yeah, Jacob.
You've
played
got
it a
nutty
lot.
with it.
I can't see your hours, or else I would totally put you on blast.
Yeah, what do you
'cause
hide?
I know you
I
got
have
some
60,
time
you
in
both
there.
have about 24, 25, and it's been out for just over a week.
Okay.
I
That's fair.
can't justify in my mind buying that game. Like, I like it, right? But I've already played so much of it. And when I look at you guys playing it, it's exactly what I had already played. And
Yeah,
I just
trying
don't want
to-
to spend $60 on it and just
I
kind of,
get it, man.
yeah.
I kind of just bought it to play a game with friends. I mean, if that's not good enough for you, I get it, man. That's fine.
Wow.
Get called out.
Wow.
I knew what I was getting into,
Damn.
and it's fine because I
Fucking
get to play with my
Take this man
homies.
out and shoot him.
I'm not looking for. Yeah,
No,
it's
and-
exactly what I expected, and it feels better than the other one. I'm gonna be real; like it feels a little
Yeah,
better.
it just every game
Yeah.
It's definitely an upgrade.
every game is
it
just
just looks the same.
it's just quality of life changes. It just gets better and better. I don't think they've ever made a worse mainline entry. Anytime they try their spin-offs, however,
Well, spin-offs change things too much.
Well, that's what I'm saying is I'm not like critiquing the game or saying it's bad. It's just I've already played it and I just kind of don't want to play it again or spend $60 to play it again. And that's just kind of how it is. So I have nothing against the game. It's fine. That's just what it is.
Well, that's fine because you have League and none of us have League.
Do we tell Fliz what we dipped our toes into today?
Ooh, what'd you dip?
Grocery
Oh,
store
God.
simulator.
Yeah, we were playing that stupid game.
Really ditched us.
Yeah, you gave up on us at the cash register. What happened?
I was just looking through. I went back to the checking other simulators. I was seeing if there's anything
Oh
else.
my god.
Is it like One Armed Bandit or like what is?
You run a grocery store.
Oh, so you had Jacob on cashier and expected him to stay and play that game?
I was doing it.
No, because he bought the register for himself, went and sat on it, and then put up a
Yeah,
close
he
sign
closed the
on it.
And then he was sitting there.
And even worse, it was his idea to play the game.
Oh, that's wonderful. No,
He's the
that's
one who
perfect.
suggested it.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's poetry right there.
This is a complete like shitty segue, but have you ever heard of Dark Hours?
No.
So it's an
have them
up and
every
coming
night.
co-op survival horror game where like it's up to four players. You're going to heist places and then, supernatural evil tries to kill you while you're trying to complete your heist.
Yeah, I did hear
It-
about that. That sounded kind of fun. Is it out?
The demo is, and the demo is 4 players.
Oh.
Ooh, we'll
Okay.
do that.
yeah,
let's try
I've
that.
I've seen like people play through it. It looks pretty fun.
Is it another Lethal Company situation?
In what way?
As in, it's the same game as that one and the other one and the other one.
Mm,
They all just are slightly different variations on the same genre.
I would say,
Oh.
how would I want to say it's more like Phasmo heisting.
Because we did that one game where everything was green and you break in the house and steal stuff and then ghosts come and get you.
What was that
Boogeyman.
called? Ghostman?
Boo Man?
Boo Man!
Yeah,
Boo
Yeah.
Man.
Boo Man!
I like that
Ooh,
game
man.
though. That game was
We
fun.
had fun for like an hour, and it was what, $2 or free? It was something.
Yeah, it wasn't that much. It was like a few dollars. I think it was on sale.
The game gotten any like updates?
Who cares?
We never played GTFO again, did we? The same bit.
No.
Well, we could.
We reinstalled it and then we didn't do anything with it. Like,
My
Well,
problem
that game-
with GTFO.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. It's just like I hate having to be patient and wait. And that it you have to do some. All right, we're gonna sneak up on this guy. Nobody's saying anything. All right. Oh shit, my light was on. We're all fucked. Fine.
or you mistime your swing.
Yep.
Yeah, for me, it's like it's a commitment type of game.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
the
it
levels take so long, and if you fail, you gotta do the whole thing again. And maybe we're just bad. Yeah, there's checkpoints now. Thankfully, but now when we played it, no, and it stresses me out. That game stresses me out so bad. I just get like so anxious playing it.
Perfect.
I swear. Yeah. Which I think is the point of the game, but still. It's definitely a commitment. I enjoy it though. I think it's a good game. And there's an ending
Well, it's
now
a great
too.
game.
But I heard it's very difficult.
We should play it. I'll re-download it.
I think I need to re-download it because I think the drive it's on is dead.
Oh no.
I think my D drive is dead.
Oh no.
What did you do to it?
Yeah, I think it was damaged in a power outage. I've been
Oh.
having problems with it since the power outage a few months back.
Do you not have like a surge protector?
I
or
do.
anything? Or like a CPU? Or sorry, I'm forgetting the name of it. A continuous power supply.
Uninterruptible power supply? No, I do not.
That's what I'm thinking.
I
of.
need one.
UPS.
Yep. Do you have a CPU? I would fucking hope so.
Yeah, I just like completely blanked on what it was called. My God.
He's got a microphone hooked up to his phone right now. I got a phone.
You guys don't have phones?
We have
God damn it.
phones. I'm not playing that fucking game.
I guess for a quick disclaimer, if someone doesn't know what a uninterruptible power supply is, if your power goes out, it kind of powers your computer for a little bit to let you kind of save your stuff and turn your computer off so you don't lose whatever you're doing, and protects it from power surges.
Oh, I need one of those.
I definitely need one
Very
of them.
nice.
I always forget to get one. I also know nothing about them, so I don't know which one to get.
Oh, you can just, they've been around for so long. I remember we had one on our family computer when I was like a kid, when I was like 10, which I never realized back then that like that was actually not very common. That most people don't even know what one of those is.
I've
But-
never even heard of it.
Yeah, but we had one, and I remember I turned my computer on during a power outage so I could play on The Sims. And
Does it last that long?
No,
No, it
does
don't.
not.
It lasts like 5 to
It
10
lasts,
minutes.
It lasted like 5 minutes. Which on Windows Vista took a while to get to The Sims.
Yay, titles. Aw.
Yeah, pretty much. But that is a ingrained memory, and why I remember those power supplies all the time. Oh man. But I think that's pretty much it, right? Anyone got anything else?
No.
Unless you have any specific games, we all kind of been playing the same stuff. Or I've been dealing with Soulstone Survivors. I've been putting some mad hours into Soulstone.
That game is fun.
Survivors.
That game is a fantastic Vampire Survivors like.
It's whatever. It's like Diablo without all the map searching. That's what I've realized it is. It's all the fun parts of Diablo and all the shit that makes you mad.
I should go back and check out Soulstone Survivors, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should go back and see it since because it's been a while since I last played it. See what
It's fine.
see what what updates have happened since I last played.
If I could use both hands and sit here, I would do something else. But since it only requires if you only want to play a game that uses your mouse and nothing else,
Uses your mouth.
it's not bad.
Arr.
I mean, I guess you could find a setup that works like that. I've seen
What
it.
was that one game that you always talk about that you needed the microphone on an old console? to yell at someone.
Oh my god.
Tom Clancy's End
There's
War
End
or
War, but
Endgame?
there's one game that
the one where
Fliz
you
is
lead a
always-
lady, right?
Yeah, it's the one that
Yeah, yeah.
that one.
Oh.
That Fliz always he's mentioned it a few times.
Because it's the best time I've ever had on a video game. Just yelling at this fucking lady and her not understanding like the most basic of commands.
Unless you put a specific spin on the way you say it.
Well, I didn't know that. There was no internet back then for that kind of shit. So what happened is I just ended up yelling and like realizing that I was yelling in my room by myself to nobody trying to get this to work.
Go
And
left.
she would, and I just start cracking up because of how absurd everything was. Like, this should work, and also, it doesn't. And I'm 10, and I don't know how to make it work.
I'm just angry now.
I would suggest anybody, or at least watch a playthrough of it online. Everybody who's played that has the, like, what was it called?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
And it's like an old PlayStation 2 game where you're controlling a lady through space. She's on a spacecraft that's crashing or something, and you're in the security room, and you gotta use a voice like microphone to tell her what to do. You can't the controller does others. Lifeline, there it is. Lifeline. If that game was on Steam, I almost want that on Steam more than Bloodborne, but not a fixed version. I want it to be the same
so
version I
broken.
played 20 years ago.
You know, they just might, considering that other game that I made you play. Was it like
No.
Time Commando or whatever is on there?
I got through a couple levels.
Yeah, you got further than I used to. But do you see my pain of when I tried to play that
Oh,
game when
yeah.
I was like
No.
6?
The biggest thing I see when I play older games that makes them unfun is the lack of like checkpoints or save states or anything. You just have to start everything over and learn the game entirely by trial and error.
Yeah.
And that's not my favorite thing to do. I want to keep going.
Just stop. Don't make me do it again. All right.
I don't want to do it again. But yeah, I think that's it. Unless y'all got anything else, you good?
I'm good.
Yeah,
I think that's about it.
think we're tapped for
All
the
right,
day.
cool. Well, thank you so much for listening. It's a little bit of a short one, but the news was shit. I don't know what to tell
There
you.
wasn't much. It's just sadness.
There wasn't sad. Yeah, I'm not trying to be about all that sadness.
I want happy.
Life is too hard.
Are we not? I feel like that's 80% of our news.
Sadness?
Yep.
Well,
no.
Sadness
Been
slash
a
other
rough-
bad things
it's-
that happened.
Definitely
been a rough
negative.
couple of months,
It
man.
tends to- yeah, there's nothing like new or crazy coming out. Like
Not for a little while.
a little
at least,
bit
yeah.
yet.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
Gamescom later this month will have something for us to talk
Bloodborne.
about.
That's
Oh,
true.
a new thing. Bloodborne? You still haven't finished Elden Ring, you
Bloodborne. Doesn't matter. Bloodborne.
thank y'all so much for listening. If you can, write in an email to giantenemycrabpod@gmail.com and tell Soon how to finish Elden Ring, because apparently he doesn't know how.
I know how.
We'll catch you next week, maybe. Yeah, next week.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.